Hello, friends and bees and friends who are also bees, and welcome to this week's Final Fantasy XIV stream. This week, as the title suggests, we are going to be doing the 5.55 MSQ, which I get the impression is relatively short, so we are also going to be doing Bozja afterwards. I am not yet caught up on the relic quests, so we're not going to be doing that just yet, but I am going to do the Bozja story. I know that your story is coming to an end, but I'm way behind on my weekly quests, so probably do that later. This is the problem with doing stuff on our SHROUD, is I forget to do stuff on Maeve, and then I fall behind on my dwarf quests. So anyway, let's swap over to the gameplay. I should turn my light on. That's what I should. And I should open up Elgato's Stream Deck so that my Stream Deck actually works. Oh, fair warning, I got my second jab today, which means that, yes, Stream Deck, you can access Discord, it's fine, Jesus alive. I got my second vaccine today, which means that my arm is really sore and also that I'm kind of tired and out of it, so we'll see how it goes. Either way, let's actually swap to the gameplay now that I've turned my light on. And let us go. Pick up the MSQ. The thing is, because it's patch day, it's going to be a ball ache to access anything probably, so... Sicarius Mandible. My arm is really sore. I had the same thing last time as well, and I know the way to get rid of it is to exercise or take painkillers, but I don't have any. I ran out of Nurofen and completely forgot to get any more. And lifting my arm up above about here, which you can barely see on camera, really hurts. Hopefully I don't have to do too much fighting, because it ain't gonna go well. Also, as is its wont, my monitor is having a heart attack. So, settings only apply. There we go. In pain, basically, and I'm tired, and so I'm going to moan about. When the tower rose up in Yansha, my first thought was to stay in Durban to keep my grandfather safe. But when we heard the news of Bahamut's return, he bid me return to the Rising Stones to aid my fellow Scions. He sends his regards, by the way. Although Arenvald and I both serve as Scions, I'm afraid I've had few opportunities to speak with the lad. I do hope he's fit to return to active duty soon. Gribald certainly cut a fine figure as he set off on his latest mission. I was sad to see him leave, and my nights will be lonely with just the one brother to keep me company. You get it, girl. What I have to say. Keeping me a good eye on the towers, and telling others to do the same. Of course I don't mean just us Scions. I've got a whole network of scouts to keep me informed. Alisa has been teaching me how to cure tampering using epoxy. I must say, the thought of being in such close proximity to one of the afflicted is rather daunting. We've sent Coltonay and the others to be our eyes and ears in the field. Wherever the Telephoroi appear next, we'll be among the first to know. Gang's all here. If I'm to pursue this course, I must be prepared for the hardships that lie ahead. If you need my lance, I'll be ready. If not, I'll be reserving my strength in preparation for the next battle. But since you're here, I have a question. Scions are in close contact with East Aldenar Trading Company of Kugana, yes? Was wondering if they could place an order for some sun-dried squid. I don't seem to be able to find it in these. Though we know not the full extent of the Telephoroi schemes, preventing further abductions must take precedence above all else, for therein lieth the key to depriving our enemy of its most potent weapon. The sudden appearance of the towers will surely not have escaped the Forum's notice. Dying. I like to think they'd be receptive to Kral's request for cooperation investigating the matter, but unfortunately their reputation would suggest otherwise. It strikes me as odd that rather than marching on one of the city-states, the Telephoroi have so far only made sporadic attacks. I doubt they'd go to the trouble of putting up all the towers if that was all they had in store for us. None could deny that Hydaelyn's blessing has been a great boon to our cause, but much remains unknown with regard to her true intention. Given everything we have learned from our encounters with the Ascians, we must keep our mind open to any and all possibilities. I've avoided spoiling myself for this patch, mostly. Like, I've seen some spoilery stuff, but completely out of context, so I have no idea what it means, so. As of this moment, you're under strict orders to get as much rest as possible. After all, we need our Mark fighting fit when the Telophori wear their ugly heads again. As I can tell you, we are itching to take the fight to the Telophori. Now I'm itching to take fight back to bed so that I can, like... Maeve, you're looking well. I take it you managed to squeeze in some rest. If you came hoping for tidings on Kryl, I'm afraid we're still waiting, but we do have some odd scraps of news to share. Scraps, she says. Lunar primals have been popping up all over the place, but the Alliance has the situation well in hand, thanks in no small part to Hori Boulder and the others. Meanwhile, talks with the Beast Tribes are going even better than expected. Encouraged by Uldar's progress with the Amalja, GRIDANIA has opened negotiations with the Ixal, believe it or not. All of which is obviously very encouraging, but with the Telophori still out there, it's not as if we can afford to lower our guard. I really hope we get Graha's outfit as a Mog Station purchase at some point, because I would probably buy it. Begging your pardon, but I came bearing an invitation from the Alliance. A council meeting is due to be held in Alamigo, and your attendance is humbly requested. We're just talking about the Alliance. May I ask what's on the agenda? I believe the intention is to share news of recent developments and discuss what measures might be taken to combat the Telophori, in concert with the new allies. The Beast Tribes have also been invited. It is hoped they will join us in the fight against the common foe. So the Alliance would bring all of the Beast Tribes into the fold at a single stroke. An ambitious plan, given the delicacy of negotiations, but mayhap an expedient one, considering the threat we face. Indeed, my lady, and for their part, I'm told the Beast Tribes have agreed to attend. If the Scions too are present, all of Eorzea will be represented. I guess. Back at it again, doing politics. Threatening such a meeting must have been quite an undertaking, not only diplomatically but practically. Pray inform the Alliance will be honoured to participate. We shall make for Alamigo without delay. Then I'll bear your answer thither with all haste. We look forward to receiving you at the Royal Palace. Well, now that we've accepted their invitation, who exactly is going to attend? I believe that you and Shola lead our contingent. Given how long you've worked to end summoning, it's only right that you be present for what promises to be a historic moment. I think we've all played our part in that little endeavour, don't you, Maeve? Yes. All present may rightly claim a seat, I do agree. But by your leave, I believe I shall remain here and lend what assistance I can to the coordination of our defensive efforts. I'm not coming either. Pembroke will be there, and I'd rather not be interrogated. Very well then. While those with a mind to hold the fort get on with holding it, I suggest the rest of us make Alamigo, shall we? Like Estinians, I'd rather not be interrogated. Like, what are you avoiding, bro? Hope I don't have to do too much fighting in this, because my arm really does hurt. To gain a better understanding of Saristinian, being as Edison of like age, just possibly have interests in common. Unfucking likely. No plans to start roaming in your absence. I know you'd only chase me if I did. Don't forget to bring me something nice from Alamigo. After time. Let's go. God, I wish I'd got some painkillers. So far, other than being, like, sore and tired, I'm not suffering any ill effects, and, like, the soreness and the tiredness are exactly what I had with my first one, so who knows. Amaju cannot be the only tribe to have been targeted by the Telephora, and none of them would have taken kindly to having their people enslaved, nor their gods turned against them. Like the city-states, every beast tribe has its factions, each with their own agenda, making peace a complex proposition. But if the Alliance can come to an understanding with their leaders, it will be for them to resolve an internal politics. I suppose I am. The fact that I kill tempering... Here to bear witness to another historical moment. I didn't realise that she was talking to Alizé there. Whoops. We've been expecting one. Let's go. We're all just sitting here awkwardly. Like when you're at a dinner table, then
Esteemed guests, you honor us with your presence.
this is very much like when you're at a dinner table and nobody really knows what to say.
Let us begin.
Information on our taken brethren you have, yes? Hear it we would! Ah! Beyond forgiveness these featherless ones are! With rivers of blood shall they pay. Freed our people must be!
I never did any of the Exile Beast tribe quests because they're the Crafting Gathering ones and my Crafter Gatherer is level 0.
We too would see your kin liberated, but ere we attempt their rescue, we must first find a means to negate the risk of tempering. Without that, we will be unable even to approach the towers, let alone contend with their defenders.
If all else fails, I've always found cannonballs quite effective.
Maybe not for tempering there.
And what of the prisoners? Would you see them slaughtered?
Think for a moment. Ponder, consider, think.
Love at the raw voice
If
now.
Merlwyb truly intended to bombard the towers, she would have done so by now. Remember, we came here to find a solution together, did we not?
So, fun fact, I've always pronounced it Merlwyb, not Merlwyb, because it looks Welsh to me, and as I understand it, the Welsh pronunciation would be like Merlwyb. I'm bad at Welsh, but Merlwyb sounds weird to me.
Yistola spoke of defenders. I but offered a means to clear a path, should you require it.
Given the enemy's capabilities, we will all need to play our part if we are to have any chance of success. For if any here should give less than their best, it will be to the cost of every living being on this star.
A paragon.
But I could.
The Empire. Our very gods. How can we hope to prevail against such odds?
Thought I heard something odd, but I don't think I did.
That our foe is formidable, none would deny. But our strengths are many and varied. In this chamber, I see masters of strategy, masters of magic, masters of the land, the air, and the sea. And together, there is nothing in creation we cannot overcome.
It's very hopeful.
I beg your pardon?
Hey, Marek!
What is it, Soulwalker? Do not express your passion thus. A little tricky will outdo us, perhaps. Suffice it to say, I am proud to be counted amongst Eorzea's finest. We Shahagin will play our part.
Something I like about this Hagin is how they're sort of the least, I'm gonna say how this, like, least humanoid almost, the most overtly strange. But I like that.
We have not forgotten the crimes the Overdwellers committed against us in the past. But today we look to the future, as allies united in purpose.
Make mock of the Ixal the Paragon does! Turns kin into puppets! Pits brother against brother! Free them from his grasp, we shall!
As
Wait.
Patriarch Zadar will attest, the Scions have granted us a means to free your brethren from their thraldom. This boon we will gladly share, that your people might never be enslaved again.
We accept! We accept!
Praise me!
It's nice, huh?
It's taken a while, but I do believe we might be one step closer to a world without primals. Would that Minfilia were here to see it.
Indeed, eh?
We still have a long way to go, and we're going to need a lot more Porksies. But we're moving in the right direction.
If I may have your attention, there is one other point I would like to raise. As we can all agree, freeing those held captive must take precedence over every other concern.
There we go. So I just wanted to update the title of the stream to make it a bit clearer.
But experience has taught us that none save those with the capacity to resist tempering can hope to enter the towers unscathed. And even once inside, a
I
still
wonder if
greater
Sumner at
threat
level
may
80
yet
will have
await
access
them,
to a Leon
that which
primal.
we call a primal. Needless to say, if we are to succeed, engaging with such foes can only ever be considered a last resort. And so I move that we seek to prevent them from being summoned in the first place.
Yes! Both prayer and ether are needed for the ritual. Should either one be denied, the summoning would fail.
Indeed. And so we must endeavor to discover the source of the ether on which the process depends. Do so, and it may present a way to halt the summonings, or
The source
perhaps even
is,
neutralize the towers entirely.
the captives themselves, as far as I can tell.
A promising proposal. While you are conducting your investigations, however, we will need to remain vigilant, lest the Telophoroi commit further abductions and summon primals ere we have the means to prevent them. To stand a better chance of keeping our enemy at bay, we would do well to coordinate our defensive efforts, sending reinforcements to assist our neighbors when needed.
We Amalja would have been overwhelmed were it not for our newfound allies. But say the word, and we shall come.
I need to do Pagarthon again. Again, question mark on Ashad, because I really...
I see we
There's
are all
some-
in accord.
Is it striking? I can't remember. There's some gear from there, top from there that I really want. So my gear is shit. Especially for Dancer.
But what are we to call this proud fellowship of ours? I submit that the honor of naming it should go to the scion whose brave efforts have done so much to unite Eorzea.
Gross, don't put me on the spotlight.
What say you, my friend?
First nightmare. Yes. In the company of Eorzea, I guess.
But that's the name I...
A fine choice, for there is none here who does not love Eorzea.
Aye, in that we shall ever be united.
United in our gratitude for the realm that gave us life.
Or something.
Then let it be recorded that on this day, the Grand Company of Eorzea was born.
I'm sure Graha's very glad that he got to watch another piece of history.
How long have we dreamed of this moment? And now that it's here, oh, forgive me. Might we speak outside?
I can't. Every time I see Maeve wearing those casting gloves, I can't help but laugh at the, I mean, admittedly vague similarity they have to one of my own inner arm tattoos, which I would show off, except that lifting my hand high enough to show it to the camera would probably kill me. Forgive me for observing, but Alphino seems less than jubilant. Might his thoughts still be occupied by the fate of poor Ironvold? Grand Company of Eorzea. I wonder what Rio and the other former Crystal Braves will make of it. We've won over the leaders. Now the leaders must win over their own people. No small task, I grant you, but we've come a long way since first we joined with Minfilia to bring an end to summoning. A long, long way. I can't find Alice, so... Oh, there she is. Please. Now that we're out of earshot of the other delegates, I hope you'll forgive me if I speak my mind. Let me begin by saying that I've dreamed of this day since the moment I first set foot upon it, and that I was heartened as anyone to see the people of Eorzea pledge their solidarity. Yet even as they uttered their declarations, all I could think about was the conflict to come, the sacrifice that would be made, and the lives lost, inevitabilities that I still struggle to accept. But at least now there is hope. The formation of the Grand Company of Eorzea is the first step, the first of many. Many and more. That is smoke. Someone lend her. Elder Seatia, how might we be of service? I seek Master Arthur's assistance in a matter involving Gridania's neighbours, the Sylphs. I know you and yours have kept a weather eye on the crystal trade, the better to predict the coming of primals, so you'll be familiar with the Sylphs of the Ash Crown Consortium. Through their dealings, they've cultivated relations not only with the city-states, but many other communities besides. Communities such as the Beast Tribe. Come up with a better name for them. Just so, it is our hope that we may make use of the Sylph's established lines of communication to coordinate the efforts of our new fellowship. Yet there remain certain practical differences between a trade consortium and a grand company. If the Sylphs will perform their task effectively, they will require the counsel of one versed in the operational aspects of an armed force. An armed force founded with the self-same goal in mind, no less. The Crystal Braves, yes. Forgive me, Master Arthur. I know that it was a painful chapter in your life, but the experience may yet be made to serve the realm. In my hubris, I plotted a course for the Crystal Braves which stretched far beyond the Order's original conception, the one intended to pave the way for the founding of what I intended to call the Grand Company of Eorzea. But all my plans came to naught. Built upon a fragile foundation of lofty ideals, the Order was doomed from the first to collapse under the weight of more worldly interest, and I have no wish to see this new endeavour suffer the same fate. Have I asked too much of you? Not at all. You may count upon my assistance for what little it is worth. By your leave, I shall prepare a report, including a list of recommendations drawing on the lessons I learned from the failures of the Crystal Brave. You have my gratitude, Master Arthur, and my trust. When your report is ready, pray share it directly with the Sylphs. With your guidance and the earnest efforts of every goodly soul gathered here this day, I have no doubt but that our fellowship shall emerge from the shadow of the Telephroi and flourish. Till next we meet, my friends. Oh, I'm losing feeling in my arm. Before committing anything to writing, there are a number of people whose thoughts I should like to hear. Former braves, you understand. Might you join me in seeking them out? That's an short answer. As if you have to ask. As someone who witnessed the Order's rise and fall, yours would be a reassuring presence. I'll join you. If you're planning to canvass the opinions of your former comrades, it'll be a lot quicker if we share the task of questions. I thought I could hear a boat. I think it's just an airplane. Mayhap Graha can lend a hand as well. I shall accompany Thancred back to the Rising Stones. Between us, I dare say we shall be able to provide an accurate enough account of the day's events, and also, like, provide a buffer between Estonian and Urian Shay, because that's not gonna go well. I should be glad of your company, Graha. I shall explain the details on the way. Okay. What I'm gonna do is look like an idiot, but I'm going to sit here with my hand like this. Like a sling or something. Do this, it will possibly hurt less, or more, I'm not sure. Let's see. Think it would be soon paying yourselves a visit? How fascinating it would be to speak with them in person, though I gather conversation can prove rather challenging. As I will say, I still can't talk to her, there she is. It won't be easy to revisit the past, but sometimes one must look back to see the way forward. So what's the plan, brother mine? Before discussing the task at hand, I should probably admit that the report I proposed is largely written. Not long after that fateful day in Ulda, I penned a detailed account of the organisation's history, from the events that led to its inception to the failings that brought about its demise. This I did primarily as a means of taking some responsibility. Never did I imagine it might let it be referred to by those seeking to form a similar organisation. While I made every attempt to be objective, the account was mine alone, its events viewed from my singular perspective. For it to be of use, however, it must be broadened to encompass the viewpoints of all involved. Only they can answer what seems to me to be the crucial question, namely, why, after the Crystal Braves disbanded, did some members choose to remain with us while others did not? I see. You think the answer will tell us something about the nature of the ties that bind our new Grand Company together, and that this knowledge might help us to prevent it from falling apart when those bombs are inevitably tested? It's my hope, yes. But the questions I would ask are uncomfortable to some. As a former comrade of the Crystal Braves, I doubt that those who abandoned the cause would welcome our victories. Then Graha and I would just have to try. Meanwhile, the two of you can talk to the ones who kept the faith. A fine suggestion. Have care, however, certain of my former comrades are of questionable character. So keep your wits about you, and let us reconvene in GRIDANIA later on. If you have no objections, I have in mind to begin by speaking with Riel and Alian. If memory serves, the two of them will be attending an intelligence briefing at Castron Oriens. Let us seek them out there. Yeah. Me, there we go. What I need to do is find some way of elevating my arm that does not also hurt the muscles. Having a sling would be really helpful, but unfortunately I don't have. The only thing I have are my arm straps, which will not help. Someone to shout as lucky is universal. Well, look who it is. And what brings you two here? Wouldn't have anything to do with a big meeting, would it? In a matter of speaking, I've been assigned a task, you see, for which I require the assistance of former members of the Crystal Braves. Do you want to know why we decided to stick with the Scions, eh? Ain't an easy thing to put into words, that. So once explained to me, I spent a long time agonizing over my failure to alert you to the traitor's knot. For my negligence, I was captured along with many others, and we were powerless to prevent the tragedies that ensued. Not a day goes by that I do not think back to those fateful events. By joining the Scions, I hope to redeem myself, and I will continue to serve the cause for as long as I'm able. This happened, like, over 4 years ago. I can't remember shit about fuck. But that wasn't my only reason. When we were finally reunited at the Rising Stones, you refused to blame anyone but yourself for the fall of the Crystal Braves. And in spite of everything that had happened, everything you'd suffered, you took us back without a moment's hesitation. We would not have blamed you had you turned us away, but when you gave us your trust instead, what else could we do but try to repay it? Nothing, that's what. As for my own tale, well, I've always felt the Scions have something in common with my old crew. The duty of the strong is to protect the weak. That is our creed, and I still strive to live by it to this day. But as time's gone on, I've learned that strength comes in many shapes and sizes. From Hoary Boulder to Mistress Tatari, we've all of us got something to offer. Tatari was like one of the most competent people in this entire game. And not one of us is doing it for personal gain. Because we believe there's more important things than that. Things worth protecting, which is what being a Scion's all about. I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, my friends. To hear this from you means more than you know. Forgive me, Maeve, could you... Why do you think the Braves ended in fate? Well, its founding ideals were something to be proud of, but ideals alone don't make a crew. For every swab who signed up with good intentions, there was another who was only in it for the coin, the glory, or both. Alta was a quite disparate man, and while I never forgive Ilbert, the fact that we managed to function at all was in large part thanks to his efforts. Just a pity he was doing it for all the wrong reasons, eh? Only takes one bad apple, they say. The Braves had a barrel full of them. Not like the Scions. We might look like a ragtag band of misfits, but deep down, we've all got the shared sense of purpose. And why? I just misread that as because Tatari sifted out all the glory, and like that was it. It was the end of the sentence. She took it all. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Ilbert is one of the most complex characters in this game, and I feel like I will always have complex feelings towards him, because I can absolutely understand why he acted the way he did. But it's very much a case of the ends do not justify the means, for me at least. Glory hunters, for they made it through the door. So while our ranks comprise a diverse range of people, each with their own individual strength, we are all united in purpose. Thank you, my friends. With your permission, I shall make a record of our discussion, and refer to it when drafting my recommendations. Until we meet again. I haven't worked out my Alfie voice, so like, don't worry about it. Company of Heroes went their separate ways. I did try working on my own for a bit, and I'll admit, it was nice being able to pick my own battles, but if you want to make a real difference, you need to find a good crew and stick with them. Speaking of former Crystal Braves, I've not seen Art possibly, constantly away on missions as he is. I wonder how he fares. How he fears? Jesus, how he fares. I can't speak anymore. Yeah. I think we should have taken up enough of our colleagues' time, and I'm conscious that less life-affirming testimonies await. Let us make our way to Gridania and hear what the others have learned. Don't mind me, I'm just grumbling. Ouch. My arm feels so. Last summer when I got my tattoo done, I was out in the midst of having a really bad pain flare up with my fucked up arms, and because of the amount of pressure that was being put on my arm to get the tattoo done, I was constantly losing feeling in it, so I kept like every minute or two I'd have to flex my hands a couple of times to like, let's get out of here, shall we? To get some feeling back. And this was like the middle of August. It was so warm, and yet if you felt my hand, it was ice cold because of how much I was losing feeling to it. And my arm at the moment is like, on that way. Oh well. I took the opportunity to write up my notes from a conversation with Aliane and Rion. All that remains is to add Alice and Graha's findings, whatever they may be. When Alice truly sets her mind on something, there's no stopping her, and her mind was truly set on finding former braves. For a while I even feared what she might do to them, but she was admirably civil, for the most part. Thanks to Tatara's ever-dependable intelligence, we managed to track down a handful of former braves without any great difficulty. Some were forthright, others less so, but we had enough to form a picture. I must warn you, Alphina, some of the comments were harsh. I can well imagine, but their opinions are no less vital to my report. I seek the unvarnished truth. Thank you. I will set about adding your findings to my own at once. In the meantime, pray go on ahead to Little Solace and stake out FFXIV. I will join you anon. I want to know what they were. Don't use us like that. Sit here like waggling my arm about. Maybe I shouldn't be streaming the evening after getting my second jab, especially given that I've been brain dead pretty much all day. There we go. I had like a burst of energy when I got back from the hospital, and I sort of, where I got my jab done, got some like good work done for about 2 hours, and also did MSQ related, got up to level 74 on Dancer on SHROUD, and then I like went to go make lunch, well, microwave lunch, and I got back to my room like 15 minutes before class, and I just crashed, like something that crashes a lot. And that's where I've been for the rest of the evening. All four of us, only you and Alphina have any real experience conversing with Sils. Still, it can't be that hard, can it? I've had the honour of sharing the table with Elder Frixio and Alamigo. I do not have an opportunity to speak with him. I do hope my studies have granted me sufficient grasp of people's custom. This one heard, this one felt. Walking One has been judged worthy by Lord Romeo. Elder One is most grateful to Walking One. These ones Crystal has found a good home with Walking One. Walking Ones may think one's home small, this one has biggest home of all. The forest itself is this one. What does Walking One think of that? Welcome, Brave One, and friends of Brave One. How good it is to see Walking Ones again so soon after the meeting. Should this one perform the customary dance of greeting? No, be at ease. It is true that these ones once delighted in making Walking Ones dance, but no more. Horned One Carnesena said that Walking Ones would be coming to Little Solace. Imperial Ones also invaded Sylphlands and abducted many of these ones, so these ones will be glad to bear messages between fighting friendly ones. That is heartening to hear, Elder. It will require all ones to work in unison to stop their telephoroi. This one will try very hard, of course, but in matters of war, these ones have little experience. Any advice Walking One can provide would be most welcome. Another pretty silver-haired one? And in quite a hurry, it seems. Alice, you must come quickly. Whatever's the matter, Alphina? Don't tell me. Couldn't read my handwriting. No! A twin adder officer accosted me as I was about to set out. Charlian has sent an envoy, who is due to arrive in Gridania at any moment. An envoy? Could it be that Kryl has managed to sway the Forum? Shall know soon enough. But there is more. The envoy has requested that the two of us attend the audience with the Elder Seedseer. Really? I can see why they might want science to be present. Us specifically? Wait, this isn't who I think it is. Have you crashed, Mochibot? Better not crashed. Scarce believe it myself, but when I inquired as to the envoy's identity, I was told it was on Fortunal Leveilleur. Father? Well now, the fact that a serving member of the Forum had journeyed here would be surprise enough, but him? Quite. I glean from this that they are taking the matter quite seriously. Good Mochibot hasn't crashed. Maybe, but why him and not one of the other 98 Forum members? Unless he volunteered for it. It's been such time since you last saw your father, has it not? Could it be he's concerned for your well-being? Clearly not, given that there's been, like, no familial interaction since they came to Eorzea. Perhaps. But he's always been reluctant to discuss his work. Indeed. And whenever we write to our parents, it is invariably our mother who replies. Nevertheless, I welcome the opportunity to meet with him after so long, even if it is secondary to his true purpose. Elder FFXIV, loath though I am to cut our visit short, we must return to Gridania. Pray accept my apologies, along with my report. Never mind. There will be time to talk later. This one won't keep walking once for more urgent matter. Go! The audience will be held at the Lotus stand, where the Elder Seedseer awaits even now. Let us be on our way. Sorry, I just whacked my desk with my knee there. Got a bad feeling about this in general, and also specifically from like what I've seen in Price Accord. I can say the same thing. Gosh, I really need to work on Maeve's backstory and the timing of it, especially. Before here we go. Before November. They had canon that I don't know where they're from originally, but they considered themselves to be from Sharlayan, and I kind of figured that they were basically in Sharlayan for ages, were sent to Eorzea on sort of like a on-the-job learning type thing, and then all the shit that happened. Some people carrying off those outfits well. Welcome, Warrior of Light. The Elder Seedseer and your friends are waiting within. Contra of mine. So I've got the bad vibes, you know? Vibes be not great. After all this time away, it'd be good to see my father. Even if it isn't an official meeting. 99 may seem like rather a lot of members, but before the Forum was founded, every person of age in Sharlayan was given equal say in its governance. Many of the institutions that are still active today were established by the people's vote, not least the studio. As Alizé and I were constantly reminded during my time there, it is an example of what can be achieved through absolute democracy. So I get the impression that Sharlayan is meant to be... Like, I get if Garlemald is meant to be very much inspired by, to my mind, mostly the Roman Empire, I get the feeling so far that Sharlayan is sort of meant to be inspired by Athens. At least that's what I got from what we've seen of it so far, and that thing about absolute democracy and the thing about the architecture, especially in the trailer and stuff. But that didn't work. Tyrants inevitably come along. My friends, I thank you all for coming so swiftly. Words of Master Foshino's visit took us quite by surprise. When the Alliance granted Master Scribe permission to request Sharlayan's aid, we did not anticipate so prompt a reply, much less that it would be delivered by a member of the Forum. What the nature of that reply may be, however, soon discover. Yep, that's Dad.
Elder Seedseer, I thank you for granting me this audience. I am Foshino Levea, here in my capacity as representative of the Forum.
It is I who should thank you, Master Foshino, for journeying so far and so swiftly. Would that our first meeting could have been under happier circumstances.
It has been too long, Father. You look well.
As do you both. Ameliance will be glad to hear that you are taking care of yourselves.
been dumped in Eorzea with no supervision except for us.
She misses you terribly, of course, but is otherwise a picture of health. Circumstances apart, I'm grateful that our meeting has afforded me the chance to be reunited with my children at long last. And I believe I also owe you thanks for the hospitality you showed my father, Louisois, during his sojourn in Eorzea.
Sojourn.
All thanks we owe to him. In the days prior to the 7th Umbral Calamity, it was your father's tireless efforts which granted us a means to vanquish the Primals. Were it not for him, our strength would have been quite spent by the time the Empire arrived. That Gridania still stands is in large part his achievement. He was a great man.
I don't know what that's reference to, it's just been there.
He would doubtless have been moved to hear you say so. I must confess, however, that I opposed his decision to intervene.
Wow, why am I not surprised?
And my position remains unchanged.
Yep, still not surprised.
To chart the course of history, not to change it. I am familiar with the Sharlayan stance.
It is more than that. It is our way of life, who we are. But I came here not to deliver a lecture, but the Forum's answer to your request. Sharlayan will under no circumstances intervene in the conflict between Eorzea and the Garlean Empire.
I mean, I knew it, but...
May I ask for what reason the Forum has come to this decision? The final days spell the end not only for Eorzea, but the entire world.
The final days? Pray spare me your hyperbole. This conflict is no more than the latest in a series of petty squabbles between yourselves and Garlemald, one in which Sharlayan will take no part. If the final days
it's like
were
reverse
truly
Lakshmi
upon
too.
us, we would know.
Would you though?
Father, you must ask the Forum to reconsider. You may feel safe on your little island across the waves, but if you imagine the Telophoroi will leave you be, you are mistaken. They mean to kill us all.
Go for it, Alfie.
Themselves
Little
included.
island across the waves.
Alphino is right. We have seen what the enemy is capable of, the lengths to which they'll go. This is no time to turn a blind eye. If Eorzea falls, so too will Sharlayan. So if you truly love our homeland, you will join us. Now, before it's too late.
You twin.
I thought you knew better than to raise your voice to your elders. It seems I was wrong. Wrong to ever let you leave, Sharlayan. I consoled myself that your time abroad would instill in you some hint of restraint, of discipline. But I see now that Eorzea has made fools of you both. Have you forgotten why it was that I so
She's a little bitch who
vehemently
doesn't
opposed your
like to share
grandfather's
power.
departure?
Either that or they're not good enough.
For all his wisdom, his only solution was to go to war. Death, devastation, ruin. Even those who claim victory are scarred for life. What prize could ever justify
I'm gonna say
such
this again.
sacrifice?
In reference to a previous stream. What
It is
right
the
does he have
duty
to
of the
say to
learned
comment
to
on
avert such tragedy? By fanning the flames of war, you forsake all you once held dear.
Didn't Sharlayan also have to recall its colony? I know what I'm going to choose. I'm pretty certain that the reason Sharlayan had to recall its colony in GRIDANIA, I think it is, I can't remember exactly where, was because of the Garlean Empire. So, like, surely they should be somewhat aware of that. But it's very America in the late 19th, early 20th century. That's what isolationism. Because, you know, oh, why do the squabbles of those two countries over there on the other side of the ocean matter to me? Oh, it's because, I guess they bombed our ship and, now we've got legacy of years and years of racism in our own concentration camps. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably say is not wisdom, it is indolence. Take that, bitch.
I see your friend shares your misguided ideals. But unlike him, you should know better. By espousing such barbaric notions, you subvert the teachings of Sharlayan and place all we have worked for in jeopardy. Alphino, Alizé, as of this moment, you shall no longer bear the name of Leveilleur.
What?
Father. She was going to say a different F word there.
Your lives is no longer my concern. If you wish to walk the path of ruin, I will not stand in your way.
Guy's a bitch. I mean, we knew that already, but...
Master Fourcheneau, while Sharlayan may have no intention of intervening in this conflict, we can still part as friends. Will you not stay and speak with us, that we might learn of Sharlayan's hopes for the morrow?
I have said what I came here to say. Any further discussion would be meaningless.
I want it to be because they've been tempered or because they're not good enough, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's just straight up that the politics are like that.
How
be
can
very
you
realistic.
stand there and watch him walk away? How can you let this happen?
Arguably, he hasn't been their father since they came to Eorzea. He's not done anything about it. I think I said this in Pisa, but it feels like Estinian has probably had a better influence on him than just about anyone else except possibly us. You know? It was not so very long ago that we had a friend and neighbour in Sharlayan, and so I clung to the hope she might lend us her strength. But when she forsook Gridania, it would seem she forsook us all. This also would just make Maeve's return to Sharlayan even more interesting. Just like the twins. Actually, just like pretty much all of the other science, complicated feelings there. In order to avoid conflict with Garlemald, the Forum went so far as to order the abandonment of an entire city-state. The refusal to aid us now is, I'm sorry to say, entirely consistent with their historic position. Cowards. It is we who walk the path of ruin. Time will tell. So that's what he came here to say. We're all fools for having the temerity to avenge ourselves against the Telephoroi. As for the rest, like it or not, this was the Forum's decision. To watch from afar while Eorzea burns. Father was but the messenger. And as he handed down their judgment, I could think of nothing to say that could possibly sway him. I still can't. To have prolonged the discussion would have changed little, for it is not only Master Fourcheneau who must be persuaded, but the Forum as a whole. Their decision was made ere your father crossed the sea. Nor is it like to be changed. And so we shall face the Telephoroi without their aid. Forgive me, but if they had no intention of helping us, then why would they go to the trouble of sending an envoy in the first place? Why did they not simply keep their counsel as they want to do? Their father's a bitch, that's why. Maeve, has Master Fourcheneau arrived yet? Then, as I feared, my efforts were in vain. I pleaded our case to as many Forum members as I could, but they flatly refused to discuss the matter. No, that's not exactly true. I should rather say that they ignored every word I said on the subject, without exception. It was almost unnerving. I think actually, for Maeve, what this would be was, I guess in a way perhaps they had such an idealised version of Sharlayan in their head, having been on Eorzea for so long, that it was almost like this, like, island of peace. And so this especially would wake them up to it. I kind of see Maeve as being this Maeve, perhaps a little more naive than other incarnations, and a little more, I guess, so like one of the character traits I have for Maeve, which could potentially be negative, is that their curiosity will always outweigh everything else, and it's not even necessarily something they control, it's just that their curiosity, especially around any form of magic, which says hello, will outweigh like every other thing that could possibly matter to them. And so I figure that perhaps that sort of naivety and that one-track mind extends to other things. I don't know. Could it be they're hiding something from us? That might go some way to explain Master Foshan's performance. When he said they would know if the final days were truly upon us, I dismissed it as pride. What if they genuinely believe that they know how the world will end, simply disagree with us about the circumstances? That I don't know. Something tells me they're not as unconcerned about the Telephory as they claim. If the threat weren't real, why else would they be so standoffish and secretive? I'd very much like to delve deeper into this, but I'm afraid I've exhausted every avenue of inquiry. Nor have I fared any better with my other mission, researching Hydaelyn and the Ethereal Sea. I tried enlisting experts in the field, but it appears the Forum has forbidden anyone from cooperating with it. Now that makes me think it is perhaps more likely that they are tempered or under the control of I kind of think almost like under the control of a, what's his face? Mini-Bad from Shadowbringers, whose name I'm completely blanking on, even though I can picture him. You know, not necessarily somebody who has like cosmically bad intentions, but who has realistically bad intentions. I don't know. Obstructed at every turn. So it would seem, but don't lose heart just yet. With all the knowledge and acquaintances we have between us, we can still find a way forward. To that end, I would like you all to join me here. When the time is right, of course. I'm aware that matters in Eorzea stand on a knife edge, but with your permission, I can at least start making the necessary arrangements. But there are one or two things to take care of here first. After which, assisting you will seem like a sweet relief, I'm sure. When you attend to matters heroical, I shall see about securing entry for you all, let you know when everything is in order. Take care in the meantime, won't you? Your speculations give me cause to hope. Yet if these seeds will bear fruit, I cannot say. While it is possible the Sharlians hide some secret truth from us, there can be no certainty that its exposure will prompt in them a change of heart. And so for the present, we must needs confront the plight in which we find ourselves. The Forum has refused our request for aid, and it falls to us alone to contend with the Telephory. Even with all of Eorzea standing united, there is no guarantee that we will prevail. What does Sharlian intend to do if we fail? Think and hope that they're, muffin. I want muffins now. Their distance will save them, perhaps. Isolationism! With their knowledge, Sharlian could have done so much for the cause. They could have helped us to uncover the secrets of the towers and save the captives within. Gods! Throughout my childhood, I remember grandfather arguing with my father over Sharlian's policy of non-intervention. And this time it was my turn to play the role. But if even my grandfather could not win him over, what chance had I? If words exist that may sway him, I know not what they are. The Forum includes representatives from all of Sharlian's central institutions. With them hindering Kral's investigation, she'll struggle to make any headway on her own. Basket hand. I'm really concerned about this. General. While Sharlian's stance is indeed disappointing, we cannot allow ourselves to be distracted from the challenge before us. There is much and more to be done. I shall begin by sharing the Forum's response with my counterparts in the Alliance. Meanwhile, I would ask that the Scions... Brave tidings, Walking Ones. Brave tidings. Calm yourselves, my gentle friend. What has occurred? The ones who went to see feathered ones say terrible news. Destroying ones have appeared in Zelphator. Destroying ones and captured ones, and even frightful godly ones. Feathered ones didn't stand a chance and were sent flapping and squawking. But when did this happen? Is it too late to help them? Too late, yes, much too late. But luckily, destroying ones were only passing through and continued on west. The ones who did not fight were left unharmed. West. That would be Coarthus. My lady, the Ashgardians report that the Telephory have emerged from the eastern highlands of Coarthus and are marching at speed. Though their purpose is yet to be determined, the Cartano Flats would seem the most likely destination. Lord Aymeric has already dispatched his forces and requests our immediate support. Tell him he shall have it. The time has come for the Grand Company of Eorzea to prove its worth. Well, mayhap it is a mercy that we do not have time to stew upon our misfortunes. Come, my friends, let us make haste to Cartano. What I have to do with fighting? Destroying ones were said to be led by cackling red one. This one must see that all walking ones know. Farewell. Definitely was a glitch there. All my eyes freaked out me. And Daniel? Who else? It was only a matter of time before that grinning maniac showed himself again. I shall have an airship ready to bear you to Cartano. Pray, see to your preparations and report to the landing with all haste. At once, my lady. Let us away. This is where I have to fight unconcerned, given that I don't know if you can see this on camera because the monitor that has OBS open is the one that's broken, but I have my arm like tucked into my fleece to act as like a makeshift shield. Makeshift shield, Jesus, I know how to speak. Makeshift sling. So having to use it to fight will be difficult. It'll be fine, I'll just mouse click everything. Not like I'm with other people to let them down. Oh shit, I should've gone. Thing. Need to get me some fucking log stones. Sorry, I'm so distracted. Like, completely lost. I really want to do Bosha today, but whether or not I do depends severely on how long I can keep up energy levels. How long before I just go past that. If I don't do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. So. Come on, this will only take a moment, alright? Maeve, it would seem Fordolo has come all the way to Gridania to find us. I've explained the situation, but she insists her business is urgent. And it'll be over soon if you just shut up and come with me. Love you, Fordolo. I'll follow you anywhere. Hello?
Arenvold! I can't tell you how good it is to see you.
It arrived a lot sooner than expected, eh? The day I craned my neck up at you.
Only because you're sitting down. Unless...
Afraid so. The Chirurgeons say I may never walk again. Come on, Alfino, it could be worse. Besides, I didn't come here to dampen the mood. Quite the opposite. All I've ever wanted was to fight for a cause I believe in. But my fighting days are over. So I want you to fight in my stead. Be the hero I can't.
Glad. Good narrative contrast. Get some good influences in his life, because clearly his father isn't one.
I am no hero.
That's what they all say, though. No one ever calls themselves a hero. Even the ones who eat primals for breakfast. It's for others to decide. Look, Alfino. You already are a hero. To me and countless others. We see you doing your damnedest to protect us all. And you're not alone, are you? There are people who believe in you, just as you believe in them.
You carry the dreams of many, we'll carry yours too. Always fun, I keep mentioning this, doing the MSQ on a shard, because then I get to actually see what expression your character's supposed to make.
I know what's at stake, and how many people are depending on you. But I believe in you. Believe that you'll see it through. That's why I'm entrusting my dreams to you. Like Albert and Owley once entrusted their dreams to me.
There was a time when I would have borne the weight of such expectations without a second thought. But now, I know just how heavy that burden can be.
The sound of me dropping my...
To tell the truth, I'm beginning to wonder if I chose the right path. Sacrifices will inevitably be made for the sake of the ideals I uphold. Maybe I am not the person I thought I was. The person you think I am.
I wouldn't presume to tell you. But I will say this. In spite of everything, you've come this far. The road ahead might not always be clear, but you've never been one to give up or take the easy way out. And everything you do for others. For a brighter future. I'm proud to call you my friend. Well, I've said my piece, so I'll let you go. I know you've got more important things to be doing. Just give what I've said some thought, alright?
Give Alfie more positive dad/older brother figures in his life. They said as if he doesn't have Justinian, who's, you know, Justinian and our involved between them are pretty good. But
I shall, my friend. And we will meet again soon, I promise.
Nothing left for me to do but wave and smile.
You've got a pretty narrow view of what it means to be a hero, do you know that?
so much.
You think they're all forged in the fires of battle? That it's all about being brave and killing villains? Alphino and the others will carry on their fight. But theirs isn't the only one. There are other ways you can make a difference. If you stop feeling sorry for yourself and put your bloody mind to it.
There's not much chance of me living the quiet life with you around, is there?
I've afforded us so much.
If you're content to twiddle your thumbs thinking of what might have been, that's your lookout. But I reckon you've got some fight left in you.
And I reckon you might be right. If there's a way I can still help my friends, I'll bloody well find it.
I know it's never going to happen, but I just want Fordula and Caesar to meet each other. Just once. I just want them to have a conversation. After Pagalthan, I'd assumed Shrefroy will continue to target settlements, but it is plain they consider Zelphatal a mere obstacle on the road to Cartenon. What then draws them to the flats? We must keep a close eye on their movements. Can't see Alphino, but I presume he's around here somewhere. Okay, Alize. You can tell me what that was about, but by judging by the set of Alphino's jaw, it appears to have done him some good. Banquet and the others have already left the Rising Stones, and according to the communications officer, Amaja and the Kobold forces are also bound for Cartenon as we speak. Ah, there he is. They meet at the promise they made in Alamega, and we must do the same, by saving as many of their tempered kin as possible. Anyway, the airship is ready to depart. We should get going. Cutscene warning time! You know you're in for a good time when you get the cutscene warning. Depending on when this finishes, I may actually save Bosha for tomorrow so I can tackle it when I'm, like, more aware.
My fellow Scions, as I am sure you will have heard,
well, at the fact that we still have one tank and one dedicated
nor
healer.
Are we any closer to discerning the Telophoroid's grand design.
Oh, 2 healers. Forgot that Alfie had changed his color.
Our adversary moves against us in unprecedented numbers, compelling us to answer in kind. The outlook, in short, is bleak. Yet though our foes are many, and we but few, we may still tip the balance in Eorzea's favor.
Of course. We will do what we always do. Deal with the ones our allies can't.
I'm trying to work out
prospects, judging by your expression. Could it be that you've dispelled your lingering doubts, Alphino?
Trying to work out why I found the CG trailer so Uncanny Valley, and I think it's because I'm so used to seeing this, like, I guess, like, partially CG version of the characters in these sort of cutscenes, that seeing them in anything fully CG is weird. I remember having similar sort of feelings with the Shadowbringer CG trailer. I feel like this one, especially Yuri Ange's face, is worse in the Endwalker CG trailer. His face is, like, really Uncanny Valley, but the rest of them, I think it's just that they don't look, they're not animated the same way I've come to expect them to be, which is in these sort of cutscenes.
Oh, I doubt I ever will. But as my friends have kindly reminded me, I have come this far, and that must count for something.
Gods be good, Alphino. That's what we've been trying to tell you all along.
For one so bright, you can be remarkably dim at times. There is such a thing as overthinking, you know.
Might I suggest that we continue this conversation after the battle? It would
Good old
appear that
Graha.
Telophoroi have already arrived.
I'll do what I can to cure the tempered, but they'll have to be incapacitated first.
Have care, my friends, for none can say wherefore our foe did choose this fateful field to be our battleground. Whatever may transpire, pray grant him not the pleasure of deterring you.
I will try my hardest to use my left arm. Just thinking, I suppose if Graha acted as a tank, listen well, friends. The Telephroi are sweeping across Cartona. As for the Ascian, he was briefly sighted above the battlefield, but has since vanished. He likely intends to watch events unfold from afar. Flashbacks. Thus far, the movement of the Duna Primals has proven difficult to predict. Even when poised to ambush the troops, they insisted on doing something else for some reason. Whatever the Telephoi's plan may be, the Primals are our primary targets. Understood? They will not lead the Scions for long.
Prepare yourself!
Let's give it our all!
Hold fast.
Graha acted as tank. We would then have a full 8-man, I suppose. But Graha would have to be a tank. It seems like he's currently DPSing, so... they would overwhelm us with sheer numbers. We'll keep them occupied. The rest of you, seek out the Primals. Let us divide our forces, that we may locate the Primals more swiftly. Thankfully, Shola and I shall head east. I'll concentrate my efforts on the Template. With luck, I should have a chance to kill some of them. Then I'll go west. Maeve, Alphanen, come with me. You got it. Can I remember which way west is? This is not west. This is south. Oh, like that sort of west. Something's not right. I don't see any Primals. As the Scions spread out across the field, Alizé and Graha take the fight to the Telephroi. That's a funky, fresh way of doing it. I like that. Coming back in, so many of them. I won't be killing anyone at this rate. We'll have to incapacitate them first. I love to hit the wrong button.
Allow me.
The tempering has gone too far to treat them here on the battlefield. They're bound help. Imperials will know I hate seeing them with such pain. We must see that their suffering is not prolonged.
Just the beginning.
Right behind you.
Oh, and now he's tanking for us. Didn't notice that you can... That's pretty cool. here. No, I don't. I'm just hitting buttons. Seems we found a moment's respite. Then I just take this opportunity to cure the tempered. Send Angelo to cure the tempered. With me, I will say. Quick. Okay. I see. Such a dickbag. Ow! Shit. Sorry. You see that? The glyph? Yes. How worried should we be? Very is my guess. Listen well and judge for yourself. Though I can see ethereal currents, I had not thoroughly examined those that flow through the heart of Cartano. But now that I am here, things have become clear. Plants conceal an etheric confluence, like to the pillars of the Asm Step, but greater in scale, far greater. The glyphs that Fandaniel conjured can reach into its very myths, and I believe I know their purpose. Should the lunar primals destroy them, it would spark a chain reaction, potential to obliterate the confluence entirely. The resultant disruption to the flow of ether would sow chaos among the elements, prompting earthquakes, floods, and tempests large enough to lay waste to the realm. But he would go so far come with little surprise. We must needs protect the confluence at all costs. It's a terrible thought, and I'm not going to say it out loud because genuinely don't want to. Who am I playing as? Yorion Chase? Sick. The chance you made. Yorion Chase, it's your time to act as shield.
I shall protect thee.
Bubble. Headache. Not good life. We best brace ourselves. 3 of us to protect. First, thank the Dr. IRA.
Away with you!
Find your strength from the Carolina Odin's attack. God, my arm hurts.
The best defense is a good defense.
Nice. Down to his reach, but guarding the confidence must come first. It's not what I intended to do, but there we go. Please let me click on the confluence. Stands yet. Glutton for punishment. In which case, I'd be glad to oblige him. Good dramatic music. Meanwhile, Grahati and Alizé prepare to lock swords with Luna Ravana. Oh, fuck me. Doing this as a cat mage. We are. So it falls to us to protect the conflicts from this field. Like moths to the flame. I have to keep them from the conflicts, but there are so many. Then allow me. A quick casting of break should buy us time.
I have you now.
Oh, Jesus, that hurts my eyes. Wish I had a shield. That was a little conflict, but now's our chance. That's the wrong button. I wanted to hit this one. Waves of Malevolent Ether. Cool. Evil Nails. Snail. that sounds bad. Gathering ether. By stopping him with breaks. Way of breaking his defenses, but shit, not quite. You, my dude. My friend. Right, I'm ready. It's now or never. As these breakers attack is breaking his defense. This is what I would make our staff. Jesus Christ alive, my armpit. The self-same moment you stand shoulder to shoulder with Alphino and Estinian, resolved to lay Luna Ifrit low. Thank goodness I'm playing as myself. Inside the Allegan zone. Luna Ifrit, the ones Arenvald and Fordola encountered. I don't want to tank it. This one is not to be taken lightly. Be on your guard. The infernal snails are powering Luna Ifrit. Jesus, it's too late.
You're finished!
So let's leave this one to me. That's the plan, my dude. Oh. Stinian had the right idea. I did not. Please heal me out there. I don't want to be here, and yet here I am. The wave of 11 info forms Luna nails. Luna snails. Oops, should I accidentally pick out? Fate was used to destroy the confidence for once and for all. So, just come to this, says Estinian very dramatically. I want that. Oh my word. Oh Jesus. I mean that Ifrit has been weakened. If that's a preview of the level 80 ability, I'm so happy. I'm also in so much pain. So when was I drop back there? What did it? It's time we acted this. That's all that. Oh, gosh.
And thus another plan went up in smoke. I am beginning to see why Lord Xenos thinks so highly of you. Not that this changes anything, you understand. You have merely earned yourself a stay of execution.
Well, that's something, I guess.
How fare the Tempered?
We've treated as many as we can, but some were beyond help.
That was so noticeable because of the bottom.
Do not hang your head so, brave scions. Though not all of our captured brethren could be saved, we are grateful for those whose minds have been restored. You could do no more, and that is enough. So please hold your heads high.
Should have been quicker, but I'll do better next time. Thank you for your kind words. They mean a lot.
A victory at great cost, but a victory nonetheless.
He's doing a lot of...
We must stay
Yes,
strong
certainly.
and press on. Isn't that right?
Wonder if he's got some tendon problems. To the very end.
To the very end.
Wait, hang on a second. So Eosea has two moons, but one of them is actually Bahamut. I don't know where I was going with that. I recognise that name. I'm just getting distracted looking at the she goes. I do feel like the photo, unfortunately, it also looks a bit like Yoriyonji is falling over and dropping his cards. I always forget that Albert is voiced by Joe Dempsey of Game of Thrones fame. And good artwork. And good song. That he needs us to be. A friend and a boy. Switching out my screen there for a second. God, you know what? That was a good. thing for me is like I'm excited for Endwalker, but I'm not like when we were leading into Shadowbringers, there was so much what the fuck is going on. All our friends have been kidnapped and suddenly this has happened. What the fuck is happening? And it was really, like, I remember the hype from that, but like the hype can be too much sometimes, you know? You know how it be. And so for this, I feel like it hit like a really good middle point of being like, I'm excited for Endwalker, I really, really am. But at the same time, I'm not like throws computer over, oh my god, I need it now. Like, I feel like I've got it in me to 8th November. But not like, it sounds bad, it's not intended to be. It's like, I feel like this is a really good, like, happy medium of hype. I think it's because, I guess because the lead into Shadowbringers was like predicated on the fact that there was something weird happening and you weren't sure what it was. Whereas this is perhaps predicated on the fact that you don't know exactly what's going to happen, but you have an idea of it. Also, Oscar, I have a question. Could I complete Boja in an hour, do you think, or am I better off leaving it till tomorrow? Because I kind of do just want to go lie down. I also know it has a lot of combat, so maybe. Sit here and enjoy it. I really like Shadowbringers. I really did. I've said this a million times, but there he is, a friend and a boy. Music. Spent so much time idling in Gilmore that this has become second nature. Sorry for the typing noises there. I don't know, I feel like this. I'm excited to see how 5.5 plays specifically on our shard when I do it all in one go, or perhaps not all in one go, I might take a break in between, but you know, more without like a big break in between it. I'm very excited to see what happens. Thinking about how far behind I am on the dwarf quest. Ah, just a scream. Words. They are so difficult. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't have a huge amount to say. Good. Good time. I enjoyed it. God, this sound. Hands on keyboard, make sure you've got right Eggy summoned. The waving emoji face in chat. Oh, it's so still. Okay, you know what? Because I feel like this is a good a good way to do it. We're going to finish watching these cutscenes and enjoy the post-expansion stuff while we wait for we're going to enjoy the post-story stuff where we chat to all our friends and see what's going on. And I am going to come back and do Bosha tomorrow. It may be a bit of I may be streaming earlier than usual. I may do like 7 to 9, or 7 to 10 rather, just depending on how tired I am tomorrow. We'll see. I think that's better than like rather do that than like do it now when I'm tired and out of it and my arm really hurts, you know? No, not that picture. Ah. Man, this was a good time. I just really enjoyed. Really. I keep saying it because it's true. Pardon me. Really enjoyed this expansion, and I enjoyed the last 2 expansions that have been leading into Endwalker. I feel like I say this every time. I think every expansion, Final Fantasy XIV gets better, and sure, there's things that they get wrong or they get worse, but like, in general, every expansion the writing gets better and it becomes, I guess, more enjoyable. That's not the word I'm looking for, but in my opinion, overall, let's say, rather than like I think, you know, Stormblood's Trials series, I think, like everyone else, like many people at least, was better than Whirlit. But like, I really enjoyed the Eden raids. I don't know if I enjoyed them more than Omega. I definitely enjoyed them more than Alex. I really liked how they tied into the story, I guess. I thought it was done really well. And I just love it. You know how it'd be. Overall, I think every expansion gets better, and I think that plays out in the way that, like, when Stormblood ended, there were so many loose bits of story that we just hadn't resolved, and it ended, and we went into Shadowbringers, and it was like, right, goodbye, we're going off now, we'll let the first deal with its stuff, and do some stuff on the source, but mostly we were off on the first, up until 5.3, and I feel like this, maybe it's because we're not being kidnapped off to a different world, but I feel like these 5.4 and 5.5 MSQ has done a much better job of, like, I guess, leading into Endwalker without making it feel like there are loads of, like, all the story things, in my opinion, at least all the ones I can think of at the moment, that have like remained to be tied off. I think it would make sense for them all to be at least addressed, if not like completely sorted, in tied off, if not completely sorted, in Endwalker. I need to stop streaming. My brain is just not anymore. See the phrase CRM, I just get horrific flashbacks very used to it. Ugh. Try to make us do CRM stuff. It's like, no, this isn't her job. Anyway, off topic. What I have to say, I feel like I sort of said everything I want to do. Keep muttering away that I enjoyed this expansion, and I really did. I've kind of been hit by the... So, last time what happened is in the downtime in between Stormblood and Shadowbringers, like the summer between them, I got hit by the desire to replay the entirety of the game, and that's when I got a shard, like, most of the way through. So when he was born and when he played through a lot of the game. And I kind of feel like that bug is like bitten me now. I have like a week and a half in between autumn and summer quarters, and during part of that I am getting a tattoo. And summer quarter will be a lot lighter than spring, hopefully. But so difficult. We'll see. I don't know. I haven't worked. Like, I don't know my plan for the summer yet. But there is a fairly good chance I will spend an arseload of time just playing this and getting Myron through the story. I really want to play the redone. I want to play the redone ARR to see what it's like from a character going through for the first time. Something I also really like is that they finally made it so that you aren't going to be level locked as you go through the story, which is great because being level locked is really frustrating, and it allows you to actually progress through the story. Like, you might be item level locked, but it allows you to progress through the story at like your own rate, which is really nice. I apologise for the yawns. I need to brush my teeth and go to bed. I'm confused by the appearance of the moon. Confused and intrigued. Everything is sore. I don't know why my legs are sore, other than those put on the surface of them. I've also, in further news on the stupid ways my body manages to hurt, this thumb is really hurting, like I've sprained it or strained it, and I don't know why and I don't know how, because it's really not like I've done anything, so I'm just confused. Going to Speedier, but I've gone Speedy right at the top, actually. That would have been sensible. Oh well. But I would have not have wanted to coordinate the events during this time of COVID. Hard enough. It's coordinating classes where I used to work. And that was nearly a year ago. I cannot believe that I left Nottingham last August. It's like 10 months ago. Wild. This music is so, like, relaxing because it just feels like waiting in, like, a city while you wait for a queue to pop. No. Skip credits. Sit here and watch as I space out staring at these credits and try to work out how on earth I'm going to sort my own. That maid probably has spent a night sleep. Also, I want chocolate, but I already had an ice cream today, and I also don't have it. Alas, that craving will have to wait. Oh, goodness, pardon me. Hearing that Final Fantasy. Always. Oh, it's such an iconic theme, I guess, that. Itchy. So good. Wow. I'm Enterprise. Better clear up soon. I'm like 2.5 weeks on there. I know I probably will. Hopefully it'll only last a couple of days. And Thursday, the day where I stream the game where I don't do anything except sit still and read out loud and sometimes click stuff. Feel better. Ooh. The fact that my legs are asleep also really does not. Looks like I'm flopping my arm about right now. To some degree. I know you're supposed to exercise your arm directly after getting a jab so that it, like, circulates properly, but I always forget that. Oh well, it's done now. The day after my birthday, I get to have my blood stolen so they can test how well my body is reacting to the antibodies. That's alright, I will get paid for it, so... You can really. That was weird. Desperate attempt to not lose feeling in me. Later. Good night. Things like copyrighted. Someone on Reddit earlier who was like, thanks to all my hard work, I finally got to see my name in the credits of a Final Fantasy game, and it was the bit at the end where it goes, and all of you. Final Fantasy 14. Headshot. Gosh, but it's a good game, isn't it? Gosh, but it's a good game. Gosh, but it's a good. Recommend the Alliance keep a close watch over Cartino. The Telephroi may have failed in their attempts to destroy the confluence. There is naught to stop them trying again. Throughout the battle, I could not shake the feeling that all present were performing for you. Nor did his blithe reaction to the latest forced to think otherwise. I can only conclude that such failures are of little consequence to the border scheme, whatever that might be. I sort of thought he wanted to get us all in one go so he could take us out all in one time. Decent of Lord Aymeric to bear us home aboard their ship. Gods only know how we would have managed to squeeze this many people aboard the Byzanza. Cartino Flats fated to play a prominent role in the history of the realm thing. I wonder, might the abundance of ether that flowed through the region have led the Allagan together? Many though the enemy were, their numbers consisted largely of tempered beastmen, few linen primates to keep things interesting. The Guardians themselves ventured little, lost less. It has never been the Empire's way to have others fight their battle, but even they would blush at the Telephrai's use of tempered slaves. The temper that we were able to treat will be taken to the city-states for observation. As soon as the Alliance is satisfied they're fully recovered, they'll be free to return home. The closer battle, when the clans parted in the moon shone down on us. I cannot well express how I felt. Somehow it seemed more a beginning than it. Should have seen my face when Lord Aymeric turned up on the doorstep. Did none of you think to send word he was bringing you home? Lord Aymeric and the Uber driver. Into Uber driver. I trust you all enjoyed a comfortable flight aboard the Pride of Ishgardian fleet. Lest you worry, the Bonanza has been towed to a nearby location to be retrieved at your convenience. You've thought of everything, Lord. And may I say how much I appreciate the hospitality you afforded us on the way home. Think nothing of it. Our destination lay in the same direction, and it afforded me the perfect opportunity to learn how my errant friend has been since he took his leave. It seemed we finally found a place to settle down. I merely grew weary of wandering the Far East. It's like, whatever you say, dude. Returning to more serious matters, while the Telephroi had been driven from Carteneau, it is like that the bulk of their forces yet remain. On the evidence of the Grand Companies of Eorzea's first joint military operation, however, I'm confident we have the potential to meet such threats head-on, even without the aid of you and your. As such, while our forces keep the Telephroi at bay, I would ask that you apply your talents to the task of neutralizing the towers. A sensible division of labour. While the towers remain, so too will the threat of the lunar primals. And given our expertise in the field of etherology, we are better qualified to find the solution. We are, especially should it happen to lie beyond the Alliance's dominion. There is a time and place for formal investigations, of course, but certain secrets are what to hide where only enterprising individuals may venture. I cannot agree more. There are none better suited to this task, nor any upon whom I would rather rely. On behalf of the Alliance, I thank you. We look forward to receiving any information that you are able to unearth. And with that, I must take my leave. Should you have need of assistance, pray do not hesitate to ask. Fare you well, my friend. Confess I'd hoped to study the towers more closely, vital as they plainly are for Telephoi's plans. If you can discern their ultimate function, we will be one step closer to understanding our enemy's grand scheme. Should we succeed in neutralizing them, of course, it is all but certain that the Telephroi will mount an all-out invasion. And then it will begin. The one who awaits at the heart of the chaos will come for us. You. Yet in the end, our true nemesis may be the calamity to end all calamity. Final days themselves. Right, Alphino. We need a plan, not portents. As Thancred so eloquently pointed out, we're in a position to seek information from all manner of places, not least Dalia. According to Crowd, the Forum have been more secretive than ever of late. While this may be related to the appearance of the Telephroi, that remains a matter of speculation. But one thing is clear, the Forum determined to keep us from discovering the truth. Master Felshenout's performance at the Logisstand was enough to convince me of that. The matter bear a further investigation, I do heartily concur. Nor can I think of a more promising place to look for the answers we seek on the matter of the towers. Sharlayan hath ever been the wellspring of etherological knowledge. Care not where we go. Here or there, my lance will be ready. Good lad. What of you, Maeve? Might you be persuaded to join us? It means a lot of course for Sharlayan. It is time we laid bare the Telephoi's dark designs. It appears we're in agreement. We have yet but to wait for Crowd to secure necessary permissions. In the meantime, there is a matter I would investigate. Does it involve tool structures? By strange coincidence, it does. At present, I have only a creeping suspicion, but with your help, I will soon find out whether my fears are warranted. I wonder if we're going to get like a 5.58. I doubt it, but it kind of feels like we are. You have learned that you. Meanwhile, in the Guardian Capital. Yep, there we are. Of course, the units would be like great way to test. Oh, I like that gear. Oh, that gear is nice.
Those Eorzeans certainly are a stubborn bunch. Though I suppose you knew that already. My plan to redirect the ether from Carteneau came to a rather less than satisfactory conclusion. It was, in many respects, an abject failure. Which does, of course, raise the question of where we are going to procure the requisite amount. The obvious solution would be to draw on resources a little closer to home, though that would require our dreamer to dream a trifle more deeply.
So be it. The dreamer will not complain.
Then let us begin the preparations at once.
Question
With
mark?
the gateway of the gods complete, all that remains is to gather the necessary ether, and our prize shall be within reach.
Summon the 12 to be the ultimate primals. Oof. Fucked up if Jesus Christ, Gardemold. It's a hive tower.
The time has come to fulfill your heart's desire, my desire! To relieve those wretched creatures of their meaningless existence!
I like the Fandaniel Xenos combo because the two of them are just buck wild, but also they play off against each other really well.
While I await you, I shall drink a sea of souls and gorge myself upon the darkened moon.
That's not threatening.
Then you shall come to me, all roiling rage and rancor. And the stars shall bear witness to our final contest.
God, the concerned cat vibes are so strong. I am not, but a cat is concerned.
As I thought, the ethereal currents have been disturbed here too.
Worrisome.
It was the same in Thanalan. Make that every location we surveyed.
And the strength of each current has diminished dramatically, far more than could be attributed to a natural occurrence.
What tidings bringest thou from Gridania?
We took a number of readings, and noticed that the closer we were to the tower, the lower the etheric density became. In short,
the towers are drawing upon the land's ether.
I thought they were drawing upon the
how they were
people's
able
ether.
to carry
Never
out the
fucking
summonings.
mind.
Our allies must be informed of this. We should return to the Rising Stones and have Tataru relay our findings to them.
Sorry. Various grumbly noises as I stand up.
Hear me. Hear me. Hear me. Hear me.
Hello? Hello?
Darkness comes. And with it, the end.
Hello?
The fate of the star is in your hands.
Rejection of Heidelin?
Everything all right back there?
No. Nothing is alright. Like, that's just so ominous. I love it. At solemn dawn, grim purpose shines, in gazes cast toward moon. Thus does our final curtain rise, your steps to guide what end but Fuck, I cannot believe that Endwalker is the end of the Eidolon cycle, as it were. Christ alive! Oh, how the time does pass. Not only did the members of the Forum intend to adhere to the long-standing policy of non-intervention, they made a point of sounding Master Foshino again to explicitly state that fact. Rather than simply refusing to involve themselves in their affairs, it appears they're actively trying to prevent us from meddling in theirs. That does, of course, make Krau's mission of securing our entry into Sharlayan nigh impossible, but I'm confident that we'll find a way regardless. To the end of the Dragonsong War, I spent many a moon roaming. Gridania, Brides at Hand, even Garlemald, but never Sharlayan. In all honesty, a nation populated entirely by bookish types like Alphino is not a place that appeals to me. Maber's like heartbroken. I've received word that Arenvald is back at the frontistery. As much as I would like to visit him, I shall wait until there's good news to share. The last time we met, it was strange that he should be the one trying to cheer me up, in spite of everything that has befallen him. Still, I was glad for the chance to meet him, and his words continue to be a source of encouragement. The feeling the journey to Sharlayan is going to be quite the test of your nerves. In more ways than one. You'll miss this place while you're away, I just know it. But for now, the best thing you can do is get plenty of rest while we wait to hear from Cryo. Arenvald tried to free the Amalda head in the town, triggered some sort of alarm, and the captives were killed instantly. As such, we have no choice but to leave them in the clutches of the Telephoid. The means of rescuing them has been found. In the meantime, the summoning of lunar primals will continue. Just as we must rely on the Grand Company of Eorzea to put down such entities to prevent any further abductions, so too do they rely on us to come through with our investigation. Much and more have we discovered of the Telephoid's machinations since Thancred and I did return from Garlemald. Verily, their troops doth appear to have been tempered in much the same manner as those engaged in the construction of the towering edifice in the capital. Those who were brought within close proximity of the towers are tempered into serving Garlemald, then forced to summon lunar primals with ether drawn from the land. But even having understood this, we are yet to uncover what the Telephoid wish to achieve by all this. The towers purely for strategic advantage, or do they serve some other purpose? Whatever it is my father and the Forum are hiding, I'm determined to get to the bottom of it. And that, folks, is going to bring us to the, if I can click on the right things, to the end of our stream. I am going to say thank you very much for watching. It was very, very much appreciated, and I do hope that you enjoyed. I will be streaming Final Fantasy XIV tomorrow. We're going to be doing Boja and seeing how much of that we can get done. Then on Thursday it will be Higurashi When They Cry, Yoigoshi, where we are going to find out Neon secrets. Saturday will be Neo Replicant, where we'll be taking our first proper steps into part 2 of the story. Sunday will be Destiny 2, where we will be doing whatever's next in Season with Splicer and just hanging out as per usual. And then next Tuesday will be Final Fantasy XIV, where we'll probably be back on our shard trying to catch him up on the MSQ. And he may look slightly different and also fight slightly different than he used to. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. It is very much appreciated. Do have a wonderful evening, be excellent to each other. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for coming along. I said that for the third time. I shall see you guys tomorrow.